Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll Spot Convention with the Weekly Comic Book Roundup. We've covered this week's Batman books. Now to move on to this week's Batman villain books. Starting off, we've got Poison Ivy number 28. So where we left off in Poison Ivy, there was a eco-terrorist group that had been committing acts of eco-terrorism in Poison Ivy's name, but they weren't back. They had no. They weren't. They were not affiliated with her. Also, there was the town that sprung up in the Gotham marshes, or seemed to reappear in Gotham's marshlands. So, yeah. That said, she managed to she got Batman to get off her case a little basically by saying when has he ever known her to deny involvement in an act of eco-terrorism that she committed or that she was responsible for? Never. That's not her. That's not her shtick. So, but she met a member of the group, and so the issue opens with her addressing the group itself, learning their mythology, and apparently, though, the so-called first disciple Ivy came to the first disciple in a dream, clothed in living armor, vanquishing the false prophet who would have led them all to death and destruction. So this first disciple started spreading the word, news around Seattle, the good news around Seattle, and a lot of them traveled thousands of miles to get to Gotham. And she's like, someone's causing trouble for her in her old hometown. But but they kind of crowd on her because that's what people do. And so she knocked him off a toxin, and so she started making her way back to the marshlands. So they became very foggy, and she dealt with an emissary of the Gray, and she discovered an emissary of the Gray, Xylon, and then she was stopped from confronting Xylon by an emissary of the marshes. Bog Venus. Apparently, Ivy's messing around with Lamia spores kind of sort of reaffirmed the bad blood between the gray and the green. And Bog Venus and Ivy have a chat, and brief chat because, well, it accounts for the most talking that Bog Venus has done in more than 1,000 years. So he's tired. And Bog Venus says that tells Ivy though that Not every obstacle is a punishment. Sometimes it's a gift. And in Marshview, Ivy returns to Marshview and wakes up Croc and Janet, who slept in between the last issue and this issue. And they're trying to hide the fact that they did so. Croc isn't convinced that Ivy's that Ivy doesn't know because, well, Ivy's one of the smart people. But they also the thud sound in the house that they're in, and Janet figures maybe it's the sewer creature that they heard, that her and Croc heard in the sewers. So Ivy goes to check it out, but she sees something, but it seems to run as soon as it's spotted. So she figures it can't mean any harm if it's running away when spotted. But Ivy goes through her troubles with her most recent troubles to Janet and Croc, and adding that she's also got she's drawn the attention of the Bat family. So, but they figure, well, they can take a road trip. I mean, Croc loves road trips, but she figures, okay, she's just gotta get some air and think about things. As she does, however, marshlands suddenly are right across from Seattle. And that is where the issue ends. Interesting goings on in the Gotham marshlands. Basically, a portal to Seattle. That's going to make things interesting. But moving on to our last book for the moment, we've got Two-Face, #1. I'm not sure this is an ongoing or a miniseries, but focuses on Harvey Dent, Two-Face. So our series begins with, of course, the origin of Two-Face. Boss Maroni throwing some acid on Harvey Dent's face. And it really does kind of lead into the idea that they are separate personalities of Harvey Dent and Two-Face are two separate personalities in Harvey Dent's psyche. He's not too fond of the whole of always flip the coin, but yeah. Anyways, Harvey Dent is prosecutor at the White Church now. The White Church is a court for the underworld. Their basic idea is to kind of nip in the bud any small problems that could lead to bigger problems among organized crime. Which some of the Bat villains are, some of the more fun, such as Two-Face, are, more closely associated with organized crime, and also, of course, Penguin. But apparently, Mr. Zsasz is being accused of murder of Anthony Reynolds. A right-hand man and lieutenant of the Falcone crime family, and of course friend to the accuser, Jimmy the Thin, started in the Falcone organization. And like I said, Zaz is being is accused, but we get an interesting addition to the mythos of Victor Zaz. While yes, he makes a scar, cuts a scar on himself for every victim. He also cuts a scar on every victim. But it turns out that our victim Anthony does not have a scar on his body, an additional scar on the body. However, before, as Two-Face is trying to explain this, Harvey is trying to explain this, Zaz gets a little violent, and Vic says that Harvey says that he was just about to prove the innocence of Zaz in this particular killing. It turns out, though, that it's Jimmy the Thin that did the killing and swiped a ring off of the victim, but wanted to make it seem like the killing was perpetrated by Zaz. But Croc is also in on the proceedings, and Two-Face basically, or Harvey carries out the verdict, guilty by coin flip, but Zaz is gone. Harvey attempts to recruit a young girl who was in the. Well, first off, Harvey points out that there's someone else is moving the pieces on the board, manipulating the shadow court. And so he enlists the aid of a young woman who was present at the trial, in finding Zaz and hopefully discovering the identity of whoever's manipulating the court. And there's apparently trouble with Two-Face's coin, and seems the girl has worked it out and knows that Harvey's faking Two-Face. But basically, Harvey seems to think that the state's attorney's office will at some point see what Harvey's achieved with the white church, and will be welcomed back with open arms. But well, Two-Face disagrees. They've done too much. And we see what Two-Face sees in basically the head of Harvey Dent. He's imprisoned in a building which is, well, shaped like Harvey Dent's head. Able to look out, but that's it. And that is where the issue ends. Interesting, interesting. I don't know if this is a miniseries or an ongoing, but either way, I'm definitely on board. But anyways, that's to do it for now. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Blue Sky, Instagram, Mastodon, Twitter, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. Big shout out to Patreon patron Red Man's Penis. Thank you so much for your support. It is greatly appreciated. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off saying, live long and rock hard.